obviously don't have to do a whole lot of motivating when the national champion comes to town, but where do you think they're at in terms of what they learned from the last game and being able to parlay it into the home game Thursday night?
Well, I would like to think it wouldn't matter if they were national champions or not. Anytime Connecticut comes to town or a team that beat us previously comes to town, I would like to think we'd be real motivated. I think we've gotten better defensively since that game, which is going to be a key for us. But it's going to be a rock fight. I mean, they're really good defensively. Hopefully we'll be really good defensively. And it's going to come down to some guys making some shots and who wins the rebound battle.
How are you better defensively?
Well, we've changed some things in a little bit how we've played, and so I think we're not getting spread out as much. We're not giving up near the number of layups that we were giving up, that's why we're better defensively.
Is Boatwright your first order of concern when you face them?
Well, I mean, obviously, he's a senior guard. He's been there. He does so much for them. But, Hamilton, the young guys, is scoring points for him, and then of course the transfer kid. Their perimeter is a real concern. They don't, Bryma can score if he's one-on-one down there, but their primary focus on offense is to get those guards driving to the rim, get those guards open threes, and that. So you got to contain the three guys on the perimeter first and foremost, and then the post guys.
You had 15 turnovers the first game. How much of a problem was that? And you've done a little better job with that area lately.
Well, that's going to be the second biggest key to the game to me is we've got to get shots against them. This is going to be a game where it's going to be hard to score on both ends, hopefully, and you can't waste possessions where you don't get a shot up and give your chance to make it, chance to rebound it, chance to get fouled. And if you give those away in this game, it's going to be tough because again, both teams are going to defend and make it tough for you to score. So not turning the ball over is probably, besides containing their perimeter guys, keeping from layups, not turning the ball over is probably the second biggest key.
What do they do defensively that makes them so good?
Well, they essentially play zone out of man-to-man. We call what we call load the box. So as soon as the ball gets on one side, they virtually got 5 players midline and over. So it makes it tough for you to get the ball inside and score because they're right there to surround you. They force you into shooting jump shots. That's what they do. And if you drive, you're always driving into a short gap or where there's guys can strip it from you, a guy to stop you. They're not going to let you get all the way to the rim. If you watch their games, very few people get all the way to the rim on them, consistently.
Is what they do a lot different than what other teams do? I mean, is it hard to prepare for because of that?
No, I mean, they're a lot like SMU. I mean, there's teams in our league that play the same way that they do.
They just do it better.
They just do a tremendous job. In my estimation, last year, early in the year, UCONN was a steal the ball from your team. They tried to pressure you. They tried to steal every pass. And when they got really good late in the season, Kevin Ollie, to his credit, made a change defensively about midseason, and they really started being a help side, load the box, don't let you get to the rim, make you shoot all jump shots team, and they took them to the national championship.
You had a kind of an off night shooting the other day. You shot pretty well at home. Was it just kind of one of those days, and you mentioned obviously it's going to be tough to get to the rim, so you're going to need to shoot better.
Yeah, and I keep saying it, offense is going to come and go. There are going to be nights you make shots, there are going to be nights you don't make shots. And, that's why, if you look at jump shooters, generally they shoot a lower percentage, okay? But if you were to follow a jump shooter, for example, there's going to be some nights he goes 6 for 8, and then there's going to be some nights he goes 1 for 8. It evens out. If he's a really good shooter, it evens out, and he's around 40-some%. So, that's why we keep saying that mantra of defend and rebound is the constant that you can control. You can't control if every night when your jump shot's going to go in or not go in. You hope it does. On nights it does, you're going to score a lot of points, and maybe you'll win by a bigger margin. On nights it doesn't, it's going to be tight, it's going to be close, and your defense and rebounding's got to be the thing that keeps it tight and close, and you win by 2 or 3.
It seems like you've gotten by pretty well with nobody scoring 10 points a game. We've made something out of that, but do you need somebody to become that guy? That obviously you're not going to have a Kilpatrick, but do you need that one guy to step up? Or?
You know, I just think the nature of this team is going to be we're going to be a balanced team who on a given night you kind of go with the hot hand. You know, if it's Farad, you know, some nights he makes shots and some nights he doesn't. But that, again, that's the nature of the jump shooter. I mean, you got to be consistent in that you get, you know, we still got to get some inside scoring. Even they can load the box all they want. We still got to throw the ball in the post. We got to force them to double, and then we can get some stuff out of that. When they don't do a great job doubling or digging, and we can get, you know, point blank shots, because in the first game we had some point blank shots and missed them. And, you know, we traveled a few times and turned the ball over a few times, you know, so we can't go away from that. But, you know, to me, I don't worry about not having one guy like Sean last year. I mean, we're just going to distribute it out and try to play the hot hand that night, and we got to get, you know, Troy's got to stay aggressive and looking to score as well as distribute. Got to get the ball inside to Tay and Gary and Corey and Quadri when he plays, because he can score some in there. And you know, you hope that Kevin Johnson has become a more consistent guy. You know, right now it looks like we can count on him making, you know, a couple threes every game. And if we can continue that, then, you know, we'll be all right.
Gary Clark, I think, had only 2 points the first game. Is that because of the way they load the box and the way his game is on the low post?
Well, they made a concerted effort in that game to not allow him to score. It was interesting in looking at the film. They guarded him with Brima. They didn't put Brima on Tay. They put Brima on Gary because they wanted the biggest shot blocking defender on Gary, and because I think they knew their four-man would have a harder time guarding him because when Gary gets a like-sized guy, it's a matter if he makes or misses the shot. It ain't a matter if you're going to keep him from getting it off. And so, you know, I think this game will be more prepared for that as a team, and we've got to take advantage of that in certain ways.
So you expect they'll do that again?
I would expect they'll do that again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
So how do you counter that?
Well, you know, you got to get Brime out away from the basket some. You got to give, you know, obviously we got to post Tay more, you know, because he's going to have a smaller guy on him, which he can score on. And, you know, hopefully you can get, you know, Brime in some actions with Gary, because Gary's pretty good with the ball. You know, you can get him some actions with the ball that make it a little tougher.
Coach, how much of a difference will it make playing at home this time rather than a very difficult, sold-out UConn crowd?
I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, you know, most people play better at home. I mean, the national statistics, I think the winning percentage is at home is something like over 70, and so, you know, if we have a big sold-out crowd, which we expect, you know, I would think that will certainly inspire our kids to play at a high level. We hope so, anyway.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Hi, guys.